Hey everybody, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician, taking a break from an automotive video and making a cooking video for you. I do all kinds of barbecue. I've been cooking brisket now for about 9 years, and so with my oldest son's birthday coming up in his honor, we're going to do a Mexican style brisket. So I'm going to show you how I pick a brisket, I'm going to show you the rub that I make for it, and how I prepare it. That's Aiden. Hi. He's turning 9. And he's going to be helping us out here. Alright, so the first thing that I look at when I want to pick a brisket is actually its weight. I'm not real big on anything under 10 pounds or anything over 12 pounds. So 10 to 12 pounds is my target weight. And I really like to be in or around 10.5 to 11.5 pounds. If you ask me, the meat just comes out a lot better that way. So I have found a really good 11.63 pound brisket. And so once I find one that's in my target range, the next thing that I look at is the marbling on it. And that's going to be all the fat that you see all throughout there in between the meat fibers. And I want to make sure that there's good marbling there. Okay? And then the next thing that I want to look at is I want to flip it over and I want to check its fat cap. And I want to make sure that it has a really good fat cap on it. And this one does. It does have a good fat cap. And then the next thing that I do at the store, and I'm going to hand the camera to one of my kiddos real quick.
Okay. Hold it by the corners.
Yep. Alright. And then the next thing that I do when I go to the store is while it's in its wrapping, is I flap it back and forth like a tongue. You see that? And you see how flappy that thing is? It's like a giant tongue. Look, it's like a tongue. Okay? And the fact that it's flappy like that tells me that that's going to be a really good brisket. Okay? You want a brisket that flaps back and forth like a tongue. People are going to look at you like you're crazy in the store, but hey, you're the one that's going to be eating the tasty meat. So now we're going to go ahead and open up this brisket, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to go ahead and make a Tex-Mex style rub for it, for tacos. Alright, and again, now that it's out of its wrapper, this is a beautiful piece of meat. I'm actually going to leave it the way it is. I'm not going to trim anything off of it. I like it, but what I am going to do while I prepare my rub is I'm going to spritz it and let it soak in some apple juice. And that's going to add to the flavor, and the citrus in it is going to get down, and it'll break down the meat fibers, make it a lot more tender. Okay, so now that I got my brisket sprayed in apple juice, I am going to use a combination of ground thyme, black pepper, garlic powder, salt, onion powder, coriander, paprika, and chili powder. Now I got some of these ideas from a few different recipes, and I went ahead and mixed them together myself. Ultimately starting with what I thought was a real complicated recipe, but it's not. My mother-in-law's taco seasoning recipe, and so that's where some of these seasonings came from. I went ahead and added in some others, and the measurements are my own measurements. They're nothing special, so go ahead and get creative at this point. I'm going to start with 3 tablespoons each of paprika and chili powder. That's what I'm using for a tablespoon. I'll be right back. Alright, we've got 3 tablespoons of paprika, 3 tablespoons of chili powder. Throwing that in there. Next, I'm going to go with 2 tablespoons of onion powder and 2 tablespoons of ground coriander, if that's how you pronounce that correctly. Alright, so we are at 3 tablespoons of paprika, 3 tablespoons of chili powder, 2 tablespoons of onion powder, 2 tablespoons of ground coriander, and now I'm going to go with 1 tablespoon of black pepper, garlic powder, and salt. Okay, so for our Mexican style rub for beef brisket tacos, we are at 3 tablespoons of paprika and chili powder, 2 tablespoons of onion, ground coriander, 1 tablespoon of pepper, salt, and garlic powder, and I'm going to put a half a tablespoon of ground thyme. And now I'm going to whisk all that together, and we'll rub it on the brisket. Alright, and there's our rub for our brisket. Alright, you ready, Aiden? Alright, so now that I have the brisket nice and rubbed with our awesome seasoning and rub, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spritz the saran wrap with apple juice as well. I'm going to get it all soaked up in apple juice. I'm going to wrap it up and we're going to store it tonight, tomorrow, and it's going to go on the smoker first thing Monday morning, about 7 a.m.